Good afternoon from the 104.5 The Zone studios. I'm Ross Johnston. It was a tale of two halves in Nashville yesterday as the Titans got taken to the woodshed by the Patriots and former Titans head coach Mike Vrabel, losing 31-13. Quarterback Cam Ward went 25 of 34 for 255 yards, a touchdown, an interception, and a fumble while posting his season high in completion percentage and passer rating. Wide receiver Chimere Dike had the Titans' lone touchdown while leading them in receiving as well. And four Titans had a sack: Tavondre Sweat, Jahad Ward, Draymond Jones, and Xavier Woods. The Vols lost over the weekend in Tuscaloosa 37-20 to the Crimson Tide. Quarterback Joey Aguilar went 28 of 44 for 264 yards, a touchdown, and a pick six. And Vanderbilt picked up a big win at home over LSU 31-24 with Diego Pavia going 14 of 22 for 160 yards and a touchdown, while also tallying 86 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns on the ground. Lastly, we have some NFL injury news. The New Orleans Saints lost 2 key offensive pieces for the season in center Eric McCoy, who has torn triceps, and running back Kendre Miller, who tore his ACL. Also, Panthers quarterback Bryce Young suffered a high ankle sprain yesterday against the Jets and is expected to miss the Panthers game this week against the Bills. For all your foundation repair, waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once in your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Door. 615-737-1045 is the number. Mike McCoy be at the podium at 1:30 p.m. today. So our first, hour schedule will be a little wonky, but hey, guess what? You guys are going to be able to listen to the Tennessee head football coach talk about the Patriots game, get you injury updates, all that kind of stuff. So I just want to say,
did we didn't play the Alabama thing song?
I mean, can we get a little? Do we have the Alabama fight song anywhere? I mean, I don't want people to, run their cars off the road, but just saying.
Roaring.
I just know that there is a show on after ours where you may hear that Alabama fight song a lot because they lost a bet because Alabama beat the University of Tennessee. I was going back and forth.
Oh no!
I was going back and forth with Ron Slay during the game. He's a big trooper about it and everything. And Jackson, former producer Jackson, who's over at our sister station producing shows. He blocked my number at one point.
No.
He blocked it, and all I did was tell him that Tony Vitello was leaving, and he blocked me at 2 p.m. that day because he knew that he didn't want to talk to me for the rest of the day after that.
Oh, my.
The rumors of Tony Vitello leaving.
Oh.
So he blocked my number.
Or the groomer.
I guess here, where as a Tennessee fan are you at on Josh Heupel, his game situation, his situational management, and all that kind of stuff? Because there has been managing situational moments for the Vols offense at end of half, end of game, where he's kind of cost them games. And obviously I'm talking about the 4th down play that was, a pick 6 and went the other way. I'm just wondering, where's everybody at on that? Because that is something that pops up. A to Z Sports wrote an article about it, talking about how he simply hasn't been good at managing situational moments for the Volunteers offense, specifically end of half and end of game situations.
Do they give examples?
Well, they use this
outside of the game to just play.
Yeah, that's the only one. I'll have to see if they give anything else.
Fact checker, because people always try to say stuff about people or about teams or about coaches, and then you don't fact check them. You just believe them. In our social media area.
Yeah.
But what if they lied to you because they wanted leverage for something else?
He mentions
that's how this world works.
True.
So you got to be careful believing what somebody writes or say until you believe it or hear it yourself.
He talks about the timeout usage with the Volunteers versus Alabama. He talks about the same thing at the end of regulation against Mississippi State when Heupel brutally mismanaged the clock. And after the game, Heupel glossed over that clock mismanagement aspect of the botched end of half sequence. He gives a couple more examples inside this game. I mean, it's a pretty long article, so I don't want to go too much into it, but A to Z Sports Nashville.
One game, I'm not going to be, coaches Players miss tackles, drop balls. Coaches probably second-guess themselves all the time about a play call in certain situations. I just don't see a lot of that from Heupel. In college, especially, it's really who's got the best Jimmies and Joes at the end of the day. That's really was the difference in the Alabama game to me, is this they had better players. Whose quarterback was better? Whose wide receiver group was better? Whose offensive line group was better? See, we can just go down the list.
Yep.
And they just were better. And they couldn't overcome it with a special play, Tennessee. And they couldn't get that kind of mojo and momentum on the road, tough place. And to me, that was really the difference. It wasn't like nobody played horrific or bad, or could they tackled better, yes, or wrap up, but could the quarterback, not made a behind the shoulder throw and throw it out in front? Would that be the difference? Absolutely. Might have made the game a lot more interesting at the end. But
mistakes, penalties too,
right,
cost you. I mean, penalties. I know that.
In these games like this, things are going to happen. So, that's how you win on the road against a really good opponent. So, who probably is one of the leading, Heisman candidates, Simpson, who's from Tennessee, Martin.
Yeah.
So, hey, I thought it was a really good game. I kind of looked at it objectively. Just was hoping that they could get a big play Tennessee to overcome what was going on in the game, and they just couldn't find a way to get it done. Whether you're going to say it was a play call, player, bad call, drop ball, bad throw. That was a bad throw by Aguilar. A lot of people try to soft play it a little bit. He threw it behind him. It was like a two-step behind him to me. It should have been out in front. It would have been, he would have caught it and scored. So, so that was really the difference in the game, really, to me.
Yeah, I thought it was a bad throw. You can still say it was a bad play call because what I've seen from University of Tennessee,
because they called timeout right before that play, right? And then they had shown the formation. Is that how I recall? I'm trying to recall. I usually write notes. I did not take any notes of this game. I just wanted to enjoy watching it. And I think he had lined up and they called timeout, and so they saw the formation first.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, well, I didn't bad throw. I think we all know that. But, lining up in jumbo.
I don't know if we three know that, but as far as listeners, not sure that everybody's going to agree that Joey Aguilar made a bad throw.
Okay,
a little bit of excuse making tends to happen.
Mm-hmm. Well, bad throw. I just didn't like that they were in jumbo at the 2 with 9 seconds left, because if you don't get it, you have no timeouts. They know you're not running the football. You can't afford to run it and not get in. You have to throw it.
That's right.
Bama wasn't falling for any of that play action fake.
Yeah. I think it was
you got the safety.
It was odd call timing, but again, bad throw. At the same time, even if it's a bad play call, you still got to execute it, right?
That's what I'm getting at. So we could talk about Heupel and all the, you want to be critical on the loss. At some point, now that players are getting played, I think we got to start looking at. We're not going to make excuses for the players.
Got to be a little bit more critical.
No.
At that point, because and again, Joey, this doesn't erase everything that Joey Aguilar has done.
You could have tons of great throws and have one bad throw, and eventually it costs them. There's some quarterbacks that go through a game and make 3 bad throws, and the only 3 bad throws were interceptions.
Yeah,
imagine that. But if you win, it's okay. But if you lose, everybody's, looking at that target. The quarterback didn't play well.
I will say this, too. Braylon Staley, the wide number 14 for University of Tennessee, the wide receiver.
Stud.
He had Alabama DBs in hell. He was eating up and carving up that Alabama defense. I will say, as an Alabama fan, obviously very glad that they won. I'm now starting to buy in. Okay, maybe they can be real playoff contending championship caliber team, because I think they're finding their groove. I was a little worried about this game just because it felt like I didn't really know what this Alabama team was, but they played a good opponent in University of Tennessee. Feeling pretty good about the rest of the way and how they're going to look.
You weren't nervous against Missouri the week before?
I was a little nervous because this run defense is always going to have me nervous.
Yeah, right. No,
and especially going against Missouri's running back last week, Ahmad Hardy, I was like, oh, this is going to be. And again, it seems like Missouri or any of these teams don't want to run. Vanderbilt established a run, then went away from it. It seemed like University of Tennessee throughout that first half of that game never really wanted to run the ball. It's just really weird. And I haven't checked the stats to see if that backed up, but that was just how I was viewing the game. And but coming up next, we're also gonna talk about the other Tennessee football team. And no, not the one that lost yesterday, but the one that is ranked in the top 10. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone.
Let's talk insurance. King and Associates Insurance. They're independent agents. That's a big difference, but it goes beyond just having multiple companies to shop, weeding out non-competitive companies, keeping great relationships with the biggest and best, along with bundling. But unfortunately, life happens and they get it. So here's a true story about my friend and coworker that switched from a previous independent agent and got better coverage on his home and its contents and even his automobiles with flawless communication and a true champion in the corner after his 16-year-old daughter had an accident that saved him thousands of dollars. And yes, thousands from an independent agent who was overcharging him for years. So you can make a switch and save the same just like he did or I did. But don't make the switch because I did or he did. Switch because you should. As a business, family, or individual, make the switch to King and Associates Insurance. And I'm sure you could go for some extra moolah in your pocket, which you will save working with King and Associates Insurance. And so all you have to do is just give them a call at 615-321-8121. That's 321-8121 or online at tkinginsurance.com.
Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone, powered by all Four Seasons Garage Doors. 615-737-1045 is the number. And we're broadcasting live from the 104.5 The Zone Circus Sports Studio. Kentucky's largest sports book can now be found in Kentucky Downs. Listen, Mike McCoy, 1:30. We'll play that in full. So this will be a little bit shorter than what we're used to. But guess what? We got to talk about Diego Pavia. Vanderbilt beating LSU at home. Game day's coming to Vandy. I mean, they are ranked in the top 10, which I think is the highest ranking since like the 1920s or something like
Really?
that. Yeah, the highest ranking. I mean, it is insane how well this team is playing. And I'm rooting for Vandy because that makes Alabama's win over Vandy look that much better when it comes to the resume. A little bit selfish, but I'm also rooting for Vandy because you're just a fun team to watch and root for.
Yeah, but I mean, really, in theory, it was just like the Alabama game, except Diego didn't turn the ball over.
Yep. That's
exactly what it was. He was, mistake-free as far as that's concerned. And, man, they handled him pretty good, man. They were in control of the game. They are for real. And I don't think it's going to turn back, not as long as Clark Lee's there.
Yeah.
And Bart, Simmons and the GM and everybody else. So, yeah, they are for real. And I'm starting to believe that Diego is such a magnet and has special qualities about him as a football player that he could be a backup in the National Football League as a quarterback. Depending on what team he goes to that runs that style of offense, I didn't say starter,
right.
I mean, like a backup. So what I was thinking of, okay, who does he remind me of? Because that's what the NFL does. And I go, only guy he could even come close to, and he's probably a better runner, but maybe not as slippery, is Doug Flutie. And he was special.
Yeah.
By the way, we all know it. We saw him in college at Boston College, that throw and everything he did in Canada to the NFL. So I think there may be a possibility if they run some form of this style of offense in the National Football League, because you got to run the football, because he's running more than the running backs. They rotate the running backs, but, I mean, he's just as effective, and he knows when to run when he's dropping back. Like, that's the quality that Cam hasn't figured out in the NFL.
Yeah.
When to run and when it opens up and he's still looking down the throw. I was watching Diego and I'm going, oh, man, it opened up for him. They didn't have a spy or anything, and he just took off. Smart football player. His IQ is off the chart. LSU, one good example of what he is as far as how special he is they had an unblocked guy. He knew he was unblocked. He had his back to him. He knew he was coming. He felt he got a yard or two away, might be even more than that. He spun out towards the guy, and the guy said, whoop, because guess what? You're supposed to take the angle of the upfield shoulder just in case he goes out the back door. You don't let him out the back door ever on a freelance rusher. A rusher on a quarterback. So, yeah, he was the difference maker. They had some guys make some plays, and every time you thought LSU was going to get back in it, they kind of fizzled when they had a big play or something. I thought Nussmeier, I thought he played actually really well, to be honest. I like what I saw out of him. I don't know if that was his best game of the season, but he looked really good going through his processes and reads and everything else. He looked like a pro. Sometimes he was throwing off his back foot and didn't have his whole body into it. And he was making some accurate throws. I really liked that. I think he's going to be probably in the first round coming out, just looking at all the quarterbacks. Is Mendoza's coming out this year? Is
mm-hmm. If he's not, he's missing a prime opportunity, but he should be coming out.
There's a couple others, but yeah, he may be in the group, maybe at the bottom of the group, but I think he will be. They look good. They got some super skilled guys. They defense let them down in this game, and their defense have been playing well, but in this game, they did not.
Yep.
And I think it's because how that offense is, and Diego.
Yeah.
Don't get it wrong.
It almost makes me feel like right now to say Vanderbilt college football playoff team, I think. I'd be very surprised. I'd be very surprised if they weren't in the college football playoffs by season's end. I think the game in Knoxville, I think Vanderbilt can win that game. A lot of fans say there's no way they can win this game. It's in Knoxville, it's in Tennessee.
No,
and I'm like, nah, not this team. This team is different. But I'll also say this. If they do end up winning that game, I think they're the most dangerous team in the playoffs.
I would not want to play them.
I would not want to play them.
No.
Because they don't care.
Watch this. I'd rather play Alabama.
I'm with you. I would too if I were you. I think they're an easier out.
They just caused so many little issues there with Diego and how he plays. And then their tight ends showed up. Both of their tight ends, one's going to go first round, or number one tight end taken. Sowers, but they're really well coached. That's what I appreciate about when I watch them. Discipline. I just like, wow, this man.
And they play like a team with nothing to lose.
Vanderbilt.
They play loose.
The hardest job to turn the page and get them to be a relevant team in their conference, which is the SEC, the best in football.
Absolutely.
The toughest job. Watch this. What is the toughest job in the NFL?
Oh, probably Tennessee Titans or Cleveland Browns.
Jets.
Browns,
right?
Yeah.
Do you believe Clark Lee could turn those around? Because to turn that around at Vandy, that is in the conference that it's in. Oh my God,
that's proof of concept.
Yes, it is.
And I think that when you're talking about in the NFL, being able to get players to buy into your messaging matters so much. And I think that Clark Lee could be that guy. We'll see. I don't know, but I wouldn't be mad if they said Tennessee Titans hire Clark Lee, Vanderbilt head coach Clark Lee.
I think he would turn them down, though.
He probably would. I mean, listen, you got it made over there.
I don't know if they can pay him
enough. Because he loves
enough.
stability. If you love stability, you may not want to come to the Tennessee Titans. All right, coming up next, we're going to go to Mike McCoy and hear from him. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone.
Cuckoo.
Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Door. 615-737-1045 is the number we await. Tennessee Titans head coach Mike McCoy for his Monday press conference should be around 1:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. I guess my still kind of lingering question for Mike McCoy, outside of obviously injury updates on Jeffrey Simmons and L'Jarius Sneed, is I still did not hear a reason as to why he did not use any of the 3 timeouts with 49 seconds left. Now, I heard why he didn't kick a field goal or try to, use those to save time for a field goal. But also, I wasn't there. I've heard that Will Bowling was down the sidelines. He said that the wind was going crazy and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you can see it.
But Joey Sly did kick one earlier into the wind. Now, maybe that doesn't happen every time.
That far?
50 yards was the field goal. So my question becomes, though, why are we not using the timeouts regardless of your situation, a field goal or whatever? I mean, you can always get closer, and you give more opportunities to get closer. It just was a weird situation. What do you think would be the main reason why?
What was your main reason?
I don't think there was a real reason. He didn't give a reason.
No,
he started focusing.
What you think the main reason? That's what you're asking me.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know what the main reason would be. I find it unfathomable not to use the
you
3
can't take them
timeouts
home with you.
Yeah, I mean they don't roll over,
right? So I had no idea. Trust me, a lot of people were asking that same question up in the media area,
sure.
And I don't know what he was thinking, to be honest. I think only thing I could think of is that he thought he didn't trust his quarterback.
I mean, that's the
only thing that I could, and I'm searching. That's it. That was it.
I mean, that can be the only real reason, right? But
see, that doesn't even make sense to me because I go, what the freak do you have to lose?
And he's been playing
1-5.
And this was pre-fumble in the third quarter. You know what I'm saying? So you had reason to believe in Cam Ward.
So if you coach scared,
it was weird. I made the reference of rollover minutes last night, and I was like, I may have just dated myself because nobody may know what those are anymore. But it just doesn't make sense. Yeah, it just doesn't make sense though. I've seen other coaches do this for some weird reason. Yeah. It's very infrequent. But I'm just you have 49 seconds. You had a good return. You had all this stuff there for the taking to at least maybe turn it into a shorter field goal. And what was perplexing to me is that they called the run play. They didn't call it. And then they did the other play as well. We'll get more of that.
Mike McCoy. Out of bounds.
Yeah, Mike McCoy is up at the podium now, so we'll go right there.
Let's go ask him.
Meeting with the players. We understand the things we have to clean up, and we talked about a lot of the things that happened during the game. So with that being said, I will open it up to questions.
Mike, the challenge with Cam, he's now had consecutive games where he's just had the ball come out of his hand. How much, he said just grip the ball tighter. Is there anything more to it than that?
Well, no, he understands the importance of ball security in the pocket and moving like he did, and it's happened a couple times now. So it's something you're always going to stress, the importance of the ball and protecting it in the pocket, certain things like that. There's drills that you do all the time, and you always talk to him about doing it. So we'll continue to do that, and that's something he has to clean up because we can't hurt the football team that way.
How about on the throws? He's throwing balls behind guys like the one with Chig yesterday that obviously turned into a problem. How frequently is that his issue as opposed to maybe miscommunication about the route? And what's the solution to some of those?
Well, there could be a combination of all those things you just mentioned. Not every ball is going to be completed, as we all know. There's going to be certain things, and there's times when a quarterback's throw looks terrible, and it's like you go back and watch the film, you see things, and it's like you talk to the receivers, certain things that come up, you talk about technique, and there will be at times also a communication on how to run a route. Do you sit down for zone? Do you break out? Do you break in? So there's a number of different things. But those are balls that you're going to look at from a coaching staff and from a player's perspective. when you look at it on tape, you say that those are plays we've got to make. We can't have those. We can't miss those opportunities to have a successful play and stay efficient throughout the game.
Mike, is there something that you could do just as far as like he likes to go deep with the ball, but there are times when stuff is open underneath. Is there something you could do just to kind of get him in better habit of taking those throws, what the defense is giving you?
Yeah, that's something that you kind of always discuss during the week of practice, and there's certain times where we will take things away in practice so that he does do that. But he does like to throw the ball downfield and do certain things and make on certain throws. But that's part of it's part of him developing as a young quarterback and understanding, and he's learning. He is learning, and you could see the decision he made the other day in the game, starting that game, and the way he's played and the way he's been practicing the last couple of weeks. It's a lot easier on 2nd and 4, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 1s to play the game than it is 2nd and 10, 3rd and 12. When you hold the ball a little too long because you're trying to throw it downfield, like you mentioned, and all of a sudden the coverage all drops out. When one of our backs is sitting right there, it's a lot easier to spit it down. And when you check the ball down, more often than not, they make that first guy miss. Our tight ends included in that. You see the plays the tight ends have made on short completions this year. So it's the same thing with the back. So that's what we got. He's got to continue to do that. And it's just completions. Stay efficient. Stay heading down in distance is critical.
I know he likes to stay in the pocket and try to get rid of the football, but are there opportunities maybe more so that he could tuck it and run with it to just pick up 4 or 5 yards here and there and move the chains? Have those opportunities presented themselves very often?
Well, very similar to the last question about checking the ball down. I think as you learn, playing the quarterback position at this level, that's exactly what you said you want to do at times. It's man coverage, or there's certain looks, certain zone defenses where all of a sudden there's a big hole crease you can hit. You can go up there and run for 4 or 5 instead of holding the ball, and it's just like throwing a check down. So now it's 2nd and short, 3rd and short, whatever that is, or you pick up a first down with your feet because of that situation. So, yeah, there is opportunities to do that at times. I'm not saying it's happened a lot, but that's something you always talk about.
After the game yesterday, one of the Patriots receivers described the secondary play as a little bit lazy. It's not the first time that an opponent has questioned effort or energy from the Titans this year. I guess, first off, do you agree with that assessment? And 2, why do you think that perception is building among opponents?
You guys asked me that same question the first time we talked, and I'll say the same thing today. I don't agree with it. I think our players have prepared and played hard week in and week out. So I do not agree with it.
Jeff has talked about your best players playing their best. What does the defense, what does the team take when they see somebody like L'Jarius play so poorly on at least 3 plays where he's beaten easily and then disappears?
Well, like we talked about, last week, we're gonna hold everybody accountable, and I think players, coaches, that's one thing we're always going to do. We're going to be brutally honest with players. Everybody. It's not just your best players. It's everybody. You're going to talk to players and say, hey, this is the way we got to play. They're all going out there trying to do what they're supposed to do.
What does holding him accountable besides conversation look like in how you run things?
Well, like after every practice, after every game, you talk to every player, every coach. As a head coach, you address the team. As a coordinator, you address, the 3 phases, one of the 3 phases. And then as position coaches, you address your players. And our job is we're never criticizing the player. What we're doing, we're coaching the players. So we're trying to get the players to play to the best of their abilities week in and week out and help them be successful. That's what coaching is. And you can be hard on players, and then there's the opportunity at times you love them up. There's a lot of really good plays too. So you always got to, as players, you always tell them, listen, we're not criticizing. We're not at all. It starts with us as coaches. But the most important thing is we're trying to help you and help our football team become the best team we possibly can. You be the best player. So that's what we're going to do. And listen, there's going to be some mistakes. We're playing some good football teams, some really good players. You're going to get beat from time to time. You're going to get beat. That's part of the game. Okay, it's just a matter of doing all the little things right. Okay, so that we're all on the same page doing things.
What type of approach have you found best works with Cam? You talk about sometimes you love him up, sometimes you coach him hard. He's such a confident guy. Does he respond more to tough love, or does he respond more to patience and encouragement? Or
I think all the great ones want to be coached hard, and I think they want to be told the truth. And especially at the quarterback position, you got to tell them the way you want the system to be run. And there's certain things you talk about during the week of preparation, the plays you like, the plays you don't like, or you order them or take things out that you may not be comfortable, being a younger player. So I think he wants to be coached hard, and he wants to be told the way it should be done and how to do it. And then I think on game days, you got to let players go out and play. And, you can't – there's going to be certain things you talk about during the week through drills and, do certain things, but then at game day, they got to go out and play.
What's an example then of coaching hard? Let's say when he fumbles the ball twice like he did, how do you respond to him with that?
He knows he's not supposed to do that. He knows it. He's the first one who's going to tell you I got to hold on to the ball. So that's an easy one. You don't have to say much to him. He knows he's got to hold on to the ball. That's easy.
I guess when you watched film yesterday, what were maybe some of the biggest issues on run defense? Maybe was it tackling issue, or just maybe guys not where they're supposed to be?
Well, I think it's a combination. We got to be in the right gaps at certain times. Run fits. Who's supposed to be doing certain things? That was the biggest thing. How is it? Is it a fit at the second level? Whatever that is, but it's a combination of everything. It was not just one position or one person. It's kind of it's everybody.
How encouraging is it? How important is it in terms of staying on schedule offensively and just playing the game you want to play as an entire football team to get more out of your running game in terms of attempts and certainly yards?
Were you in our staff meeting earlier? We talked about that one. No, it's critical. You got to run the football. You got to run it. You can't be one-dimensional in this business. But the problem is that from game to game, at times when you get behind, the numbers get skewed. But you're always looking for balance. But I also say this: our job as coaches is to always do what we think gives us the best chance to win. And so there's been plenty of games where we've thrown it 40, 50 times. Shoot, with Tim Tebow in Kansas City one year, we ran it 50-something times, threw it a couple times in the game. I think we had a couple completions in the game, but we won the game. That's all that matters. So we're always going to look at that as what are we doing well? And there's games you go into as a play caller too, I've done before, is you think you're going to go in, you're going to air it out 40 or 50 times, you get the run game going, and you just keep going, you keep running. Next thing you know, the numbers are completely different than what you thought. So you always go in the plan, but as in a perfect world, there's some balance to it all.
I know you'll probably list the injured guys as day-to-day. What is your philosophy on test versus rest with these guys during the practice week? Do you need to see guys practice to play them, or do you just kind of trust they know when they're ready? A
combination of everything. There's certain players, the veterans that have played a lot of football, you have a lot of more, you can say, okay, hey, I can play. These players don't necessarily need to practice as much as others. There's certain players, they need the reps. There's certain you learn a lot about players through the offseason program, through training camp. There's plenty of times and places I've been where you say, if this player's not practicing, he is not playing. End of story. Because he's a rep guy, he needs to see it, and that's nothing against him. That's just the type of player he is. And a lot of players will tell you too, I need to go out there and do it. And then there's other players that they can just naturally go out there and be successful. So every player is different. I think as my job, the training staff, we always got to look at it as what is the best interest of the players, and are they ready to go that week? And everybody's different. Eric Weddle, Phillip Rivers, back in the days, they were going to be ready. You never knew what they had, but they were going to play. They were going to find a way, to play, and nobody knew about it.
Are there any next day declarations you can make about Simmons, Snead, Ridley?
Excuse me?
Simmons, Snead, Ridley, are there any next day declarations?
No, we'll talk to you about, as the week goes on, we'll give you the updates on those players.
Go ahead, Paul.
Is Cody Barton locked into his spot, or is there a scenario where you'd make a change there?
No, he's in his spot.
How do you think things went, Mike, I guess from an operations standpoint, communication standpoint for you, and able to do everything you want to do as a head coach, and will you tinker with things moving forward on how things go on game day?
I'll tell you this right now. This week will be a lot easier than last week. After getting thrown into the mix, and like I told you, it's an honor and privilege to be up here in front of you guys and running the organization, but last week was a scramble. And that's just, but the good thing was I've done it before. So there's a lot of things, but it was really just getting, I think, like I mentioned after the game, our organization deserves a ton of credit from and not just the players, but everybody else in this building of buying in and doing what we had to do to get ready for this game this past weekend. But I was doing so many other things to make sure that, I had to get up to speed on a number of different things here on how we want to do it here with this organization, and some things that I should get caught up on. And, but it wasn't difficult. It was just a matter of getting everybody on the same page. That was the number one thing. I wanted to make sure everybody was on the same page on how we were going to do things moving forward. So there's a lot of little meetings on the side, not just on the practice field or in meetings with players, but as an organization, having a lot of great discussions about how we want to do things here.
Mike, with the apparent effort to streamline or quote unquote simplify the offense once you got in your position, is that something that's true? And if it is true, how much more of that was an effort for the full team offense wise and not opposed to just Cam Ward?
Well, I don't necessarily know that simplify is the right word. I think every week we are looking at what does our offense do best, and what is the best way to approach this game plan. So it's always, you always look at the quarterback and say, what does he do well, or what is he like when you put plays together? Our job as coaches is to explain to Cam, this is why we're running things, this is the scheme we're attacking, this is where the ball should go in a perfect world, but it's never going to be perfect. And that's part of coaching and installing. And as a young player, it's important that he gives us a lot of feedback about what is he like and what is he not like. Because I firmly believe if the quarterback likes it, it's probably going to work more often than not, because he knows what he's doing and those are his favorite plays and things like that. But I also think it's important that he understands that, this is the scheme, or these are certain plays we want to put in this week. But you just want to hit, the most important thing is let the quarterback go out and play fast. I wouldn't, so.
The offense did it for a quarter in Arizona with help, obviously. You did it for a quarter yesterday at the beginning. What gives you confidence that this offense can sustain something long enough over the course of a game to put forth a winning effort and enough points?
Because of what it means to these players and the way they work, and we've seen it be done. We just got to do it more consistently. We got to finish drives certain ways, and obviously we can't turn the ball over. We got to run the ball more efficiently. We got some great backs. We got a good line. We got we just got to do everything more consistently. That's the most important thing, is go out there and do our jobs better. That's coaches, players, it's everybody involved.
I guess that's the second part of the question, though. What gives you faith that you can do it more consistently?
Because we've seen them do it and the way they work. I mean, they work extremely hard, and we see them out there, the want to, the type of players we have. We just got to, everyone, all three phases. It's not just the offense. It's not the defense, not just the kicking game. It's all three phases and feeding off of one another. Someone make a big play. Don't chase plays, but somebody go out there and make the play that kind of gets everyone going again. And then, it just kind of, and just feed off each other's energy. Like I said, togetherness. We're all in this thing together. We're going to stick together. We, make plays. We're going to feed off of one another. We're going to support each other. There's going to be ups and downs in every game, every season. But there's a lot of football left. You just got to keep going, keep grinding away, and our players will be successful because of the way they work and because they want to be great.
Jim had a big play. Jim had a big play
great to see.
in the first half. A couple of big plays, including the touchdown. But then he kind of vanished in the second half, not even a target. What do you attribute that to?
Well, I don't think we had much success as an offense in the second half. Not just him. I think there's certain plays, like we go back to the game planning. There's certain schemes that you're going to play. You go in with a game plan, you have a plan. There's a place where the ball's supposed to go. You always look at the call sheet, and there's plays for each player. You say, this is where this should be touches for that play. Well, if they play a different coverage, then it's the quarterback's job to go in a different way. So that's going to change from week to week. Sometimes there's plays that are designed to go to certain players, and then the score gets to what it was like the other day. So then you get away from what you wanted your main game plan to be, to get certain targets to not just him, but other players too. So, and then all of a sudden you start seeing a bunch of softer coverage or different coverages than what you thought you were going to see. So that's going to happen.
It looked like Tabonga had some struggles early in the game yesterday. How did he grow into the game, getting back into reps, and how important is he with Jeff's status maybe a little bit up in the air?
Well, I think anytime you're away from the game for a little bit, it takes you time to get back in the groove of things. But I think he did an outstanding job of getting back in and doing his job. And there's definitely some things he'll look at today, and as the coaches will talk to him and say, hey, you need to clean these things up and do things a little better. But I think he'll play even better this week after playing, getting back in the groove of things, and getting back into football shape and going out and playing. There's nothing like playing in the games.
What was your reasoning for not using any of the timeouts on that last drive before halftime? The offense had been moving the ball relatively well.
Well, like I mentioned to you guys after the game, there's going to be so many things that come in to play situationally in the game. I mentioned the wind to you. It was blowing, and there's certain things that we just we had a couple incomplete passes to end the drive, the drive before. Unfortunately, and we put the defense back out there. I think it was 148, and then the defense goes out and the ball goes over their head, and it's a touchdown, and the score's what it is. So there's certain things that will always go into play and be factors of what's the score of the game, what's the weather like, how are we playing offensively, defensively, certain things, and so every situation's different. I mean, it's always going to be different. If you go in the other direction, it's a whole different deal. You go the other direction, you have a higher. Where do we need to get? I mean, there was a lot of, like I told you guys yesterday, there was a lot of discussion when the ball was on the 27-yard line with the wind blowing the way it was and where we need to get. And then, you have a penalty here and there, and then you start thinking about things. So there are so many things you guys don't hear, about the discussions that go into things. And what we think is best at that time. And it's not always going to be the same. You go inside, you're playing in a dome, it's completely different. And how is your team playing from week to week? That's another thing. So
I think a lot of us are confused about the wind because your kick go in the same direction from 50 yards not that long before. Did the wind change drastically?
It was blowing pretty hard. Yeah, it was blowing. So there's certain things. And I'm not, there's a number of factors that goes into consideration. But I mentioned wind to you, so that's why I'm saying that to you today.
All right. Thanks, guys.
All right, thank you.
All right, that was Mike McCoy. Real quick, we did get clarity. I thought there was clarity, not necessarily that I agree with it, but he at least gave the reasoning that, listen, we've had some incompletions in the last drive before that, where it left some time on the clock, and he didn't want to leave any time on the clock for New England to get the ball back and for them to have the win behind them and maybe go down and score, because it does not take long sometimes for this New England team to score yesterday. It almost felt like at will at some point. But because, they did have, you remember, a 59-second touchdown drive. So I not necessarily that agree with it, but at least I understand what he's trying to say. Thoughts on that, Blaine?
No.
I'd still be going for it, by the way. I don't agree with his decision, but at least we got a answer, I guess.
It seems as though he became very conservative.
Mm-hmm. That's what I think.
Very conservative, based off of what he's seeing on the field. But I would have been you can be, let's say, when you're speaking to somebody, you can be passive aggressive. Well, why can't you be that as a team too at the same time? How about you throw a curl, a safe player, a flat route, a bootleg? Something just to kind of see if they're how they're playing, the team you're playing against, their defense. Are they playing soft? So, oh man, we turned a little 5-yard pass into 12, 14 yards. So I would have, that's still safe.
Right.
But it's not turning around, handing the ball off.
Because they began.
So he was trying to run the clock too.
Yeah. Because he began the drive at the Tennessee 35, that last drive, and he went 4 plays for 7 yards and ended at the Tennessee 42. So he wasn't even in field goal range, because the last field goal, they were at the New England 32 for that field goal. Mm-hmm. So he wasn't technically in field goal range, but you could have got yourself into field goal range.
Okay, and on the other side of that, thinking about what he is saying, the head coach there, McCoy, interim head coach is that, okay, if he would have threw it 3 plays in a row, he would have had the punt and they would have got the ball back.
Yeah.
See? So, and then in particular, would have crucified him.
I understand his logic. I didn't think that was the real logic in the moment, but I also understand that I guess the wind got worse. Like, I mean, it can get worse. I don't know. I didn't check to see my barometer or whatever it is to gauge wind pressure and all that kind of stuff at the time of the kick. But that's they're down on the field. Like, it's easy to kind of criticize from the press box when you're not feeling the wind down on the field.
Well, they got the flags up there, so we were all looking up there at him and like, okay, yeah, that is a factor, but he did kick a 50-yard the same direction. So I just wanted him to be a little more aggressive there and not concede. I think that's how I felt.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, well, you can do something. Oh, I mean, man, let's at least try to work to get a first down then. Let's see that.
Yeah, let's see if we can maybe use this 49 seconds, maybe do some out routes. I mean, the first play was a run, right? Like, I mean, once you ran, it felt like...
I felt like they knew the play. There was nowhere to go.
Yeah, so to me, it's like you can use the boundary, right? Get out of bounds. You have 49 seconds to put yourself into field goal position.
Oh, I'm glad you just reminded me. This is a pet peeve of mine. Quit running freaking reverses into the freaking boundary, dummies.
Are you talking about that Chimray DK one?
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was the only reverse, right?
It was the fake or whatever. Going to miss. Don't run it. He needs space. So in my mind, that's on Cam Ward. You have to be on top of what the coaches call and say, I need to switch it to the other direction and call it the opposite.
Yeah.
That is then taking ownership of your team right there. And so that irritates me. Even a tall sweep, they did that too, or whatever they ran. There's nowhere to go.
With that last drive, I think it's frustrating just because it seems like it's just not much of a change from when Callahan was running things, just with the conservative stuff. But also going to one of his other answers when he talked about players making plays, not chasing but making.
Yeah,
like go out there and make the play to keep us in this game. As a coaching staff, too, you have to put them in the position to do that.
Right.
So, like, be aggressive.
Give them the opportunity to do it.
Give them the chance to go make some plays at the end of the half.
Because he said, don't chase plays, go out and play fast, but don't chase plays. Well, you got to give them the opportunity to go out there and let your players over plays and do that.
I completely agree with that. I wish somebody would have said that while he was there. I want to see what he would have said to that.
Well, he probably would have used the new C word. Out goes collaboration, in goes, well, it's a combination. It's a combination of things. That was his favorite answer. Yeah, it's a combination of things, which is true. It can be a combination of things. I just thought it was funny. Just something that flagged my radar. Coming up next, we got a whole hour. We're going to be talking about Tennessee Titans versus New England Patriots. Your phone call, 615-737-1045. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone.
There are a lot of things Americans split 50-50 on. Politics, working from home versus the office, coffee versus tea. Yes, I love me some tea. But there's one thing we all agree on, and hey, that's me, Blaine Bishop, yes. Of course, Eurofix. Taking care of your car and repairs can be complicated, and your repair is only as good as the person under the hood. And most of the problems in fixing your vehicle is a knowledge issue, not someone trying to rip you off, because I know I used to think that all the time. A lot of techs are not properly trained, so they end up guessing what to do. That causes delays in getting your vehicle back or repeat visits of the same issue for around a quarter century. Eurofix has been doing this and correcting and having the best technicians around. And every visit starts with a free 15-minute no-rinse inspection, so you know what's going on before we start the work. And at Eurofix, it pays its technicians more than the average bear, by the way, that attracts the best and the brightest talent around. And Eurofix still fixes European vehicles at below dealer pricing with a 3-year, 36,000-mile nationwide warranty on all the work Eurofix performs. Rental cars are also available as well. Locally owned, family run with 5 locations. And all you have to do is just go online and check them out at myeurofix.com.
That's myeurofix.com. But also give them a call. 844-EUROFIX. Yes, that's right. 844-EUROFIX.
Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone, powered by all Four Seasons Garage Doors. 615-737-1045 is the number. Get in on the conversation because we are going to go to the phones. We're going to go to Buston, who wants to talk about Amani Hooker. Buston, you're on with Blaine and Zach.
Buston Diamond?
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call. I kind of want to stray away from ranting about the fan base today and how they're almost as impatient as the owner they seem to strongly dislike, but I'll keep it simple with the question, and this is primarily for Blaine, just as a former safety. I know you were a strong and he's a free, but what have you seen with Amani Hooker this year that's seemingly giving him the yips every time he's playing? And what would you tell him to maybe get him out of that mind state? Just interested to hear your perspective.
What are you referencing, the yips? I don't know what you mean. What do you mean? I don't know what that means.
Just his kind of poor play. It seems like on coverage, he's been a lot worse than he's been in years past. And tackling, he's almost been kind of not afraid to come up and make the hit, but he seems like he's a little less, I guess, I don't know how to say it, but maybe engaged to get to the ball carrier than in years past. I know he got paid and everything, so I don't want to say like, oh, the guy got paid and now he's, good to go and won't try anymore, but it just seems like he's putting a worse year on film this year than he has in years past. I'm just interested to hear your perspective. Thanks, guys.
Thanks. What are your thoughts on that? Because I know we saw some bad Amani Hooker games earlier in the year, but I haven't really felt he was the problem these last few weeks. I mean, but that's just me. But I'm also not really focused too much on watching Amani Hooker. But, I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I probably would have to answer that question fairly by going back and watching the tape. I really didn't see that. Now, I don't know if he's referencing the one time where he got beat down the sideline. And
that was a weird one. He was up on the line, but Jalen Armour-Davis was behind him playing safety.
Yeah,
is what it looked like. I need to go back and watch that play, too.
I don't know, why that happened. But, sometimes, when you get paid, you also are risk averse. And when I say that, I mean you're trying to make plays and try to make it on your own instead of within the scheme. And sometimes that can make you look like that. I don't think he's played bad. I think he's always kind of been, I'll clean up and not the guy that's going to be the enforcer type tackler. But his skill set is really good. He's a smart player, good solid starter in the National Football League. So I really can't address what he sees. I don't really see that. He's played the same to me the whole entire time. Even last year before he got an extension, I mean, any of that. He's not the guy that's trying to come up and, try to lay the wood on some people. That's not his stick. Now, Woods does that much better than him, but he's kind of a versatile tool where he can cover in the slot. That's probably why he was down there. He also can play free safety, I think, which is more, the best, and when he's at his best, when he's kind of a ball hawk. But he's a solid player. I didn't see that. They were running downhill too. Yeah, they were running through some gaping holes.
Even whether Jeff was out there or not, they were running.
Right. So people stopped saying that. That was not true. They were running. They were double teaming him during that time he was out there, and so other people had to make plays, and they weren't making the plays.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, because this was a question I think after the Rams game where we talked about Snead and Devontae Adams, and then it looked like that he expected Amani Hooker to be over top with Devontae Adams. Remember, there was that miscommunication of some sort, and that was a big question for the week. There felt like yesterday on the plays that we watched back, me and Ross, because Ross brought it up to me, that there was still all these miscommunications always seem to happen with one player as the commonality. It's Snead and the safeties. And it's like I'll let you explain it, Ross, to Blaine, what we saw.
It was on the first touchdown that Hunter Henry won Blaine in the red zone. Looked like Snead was trying to signal to Diggs to banjo it, inside out.
That was Austin, correct?
Do what?
The Austin Hooper touchdown,
You said Hunter Henry.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, Austin Hooper. It looked like Snead was trying to signal to banjo, and I don't even think Diggs ever even saw him signal that. So Hunter Henry stems in from the start, and Snead.
Austin Hooper
stems in at the start.
Former Titan.
Titans ledge. Austin Hooper stems in at the start, and Snead, it looked like he thought that he was passing him off to Diggs, and then Hooper obviously breaks out on the corner, and Snead was just too late, almost made a great play. And then the second one I think was more on Quandre with just eyes in the backfield. but they let Booty get behind him, and it looked like Snead was expecting him to be in that quarters kind of over top of him. He just wasn't there, and Booty ran right by him for a big touchdown.
So what's the question?
Well, I guess,
he
why,
got toasted.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, why do you think that this miscommunication continues to happen with just really one person, two safeties?
And that's really a player deal to me. You know, he motioned over on the Hooper, right, touchdown.
Yeah, because he was making some hand signals.
And I think what happens is when you come across, most corners want to stay on the wide receiver because they don't want to put the safety on the wide receiver. But in the route that they run, it was better for the safety to take the hitch and then him take the 7, but he was already locked in, and then he saw Diggs take off to go get him. So to me, that means they didn't practice this. They never confronted this in practice. And then Diggs tried to cover it and just take off and run to the corner because he saw, that the guy was open, that Diggs didn't take him. So I thought that was more this is miscommunication. But, man, you got to have some clarity. And the clarity was Diggs immediately went so he could play off of him, like faster than he did. And I think he hesitated just that split second, especially in the red zone. Time's up. Now, the post play, where the New England Patriots, did Booty say that?
Yeah.
That he was lazy?
Yeah.
I mean,
he took advantage of lazy play from the cornerback and safety.
Well, I view it as that was quarter coverage, so the safety is supposed to be on the deep hash, and backpedaling. He's supposed to be right there. I mean, and so the corner is expecting if he runs a post that he'll be there. Now, Diggs is Snead is supposed to be over the top of that or right there running behind him. Now, whether he can make a play or not is another thing, but he wasn't even close. So he was playing lazy technique, to be honest. I wouldn't have termed it that way, but I get how an offensive player would say that, and that's why he did it. Yeah. So, I can't say that's Snead's job on that play. I just didn't like the way he did his technique. But the post play is supposed to be on Diggs.
Yeah.
Quarter coverage.
Let me ask you this. The question got brought up by PK in the presser today about holding players accountable for their mistakes, specifically talking about Snead, and he used the term he got burnt on these two plays. How do coaches hold players accountable? I don't know the answer, so I'm curious.
I don't like that question.
Okay.
Because what are your options?
Right.
So you got to. This is not okay.
Do you bench him? What is that?
No.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Have you seen people get benched?
Yeah, I have.
Who? Name them.
Well, I mean, not here, but not any big name players.
Name when you saw him get benched.
Well, Justin Fields got benched yesterday.
Okay. Now he came off a concussion from the game before, so we got to know the totality of what's going
Justin
on.
Justin Fields had a concussion?
The quarterback, right?
I think he got it in that game yesterday.
He got it yesterday. Gotcha.
See, so you got to know what's really happening. Because the reason why I say that is Aaron Glenn, somebody asked him that 2 games ago when he was coming back, that is he going to start? He said he laughed and said, yeah, he's our starting quarterback. See, so you got to look at what's really going on when you start talking about what are your options. There's a reason why the guy's number 2. So you're going to go then ruin your number 1 guy because he got beat. Really? So then what do you then create? When you bench somebody, you create fear to the athlete. Now I fear to make plays. I then can't play freely. So the NFL isn't built on benching. Maybe the quarterback, but other than that, you don't see a lot of guys getting benched. Guys get beat all the time. Guys drop the ball all the time. Do you see them getting benched? Have we seen it?
No.
We've seen Cam being inaccurate. He's a rookie. We've seen Alec drop balls. It's Chig drop balls.
Yeah.
They ain't been benched, not one iota. So you can't, if you start doing that, then you won't be in coaching.
Yeah,
not in the NFL.
I agree with you, by the way.
Not in the NFL. It's just it has to be a culmination of over and over again of things that they've coached you and that you're not doing. Now, in the Snead situation, I don't think they even ever ran that play. I really, in practice, they've never seen it. So
you have to over communicate when you're in the secondary. That's just I just live by that because I don't want anybody making any mistakes, especially if it got to do with me.
Yeah, because I thought it was a weird question because I'm sitting there when I hear the question being asked, I'm like, well, what are they supposed to do? And I thought that he answered it correctly by saying, we're coaching, not criticizing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, first of all, here's how I would do it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a coach.
Yeah.
And so they're coaching.
They need one
But
if you want.
I'm not coaching. So what I would do is I would build trust amongst my guys, whether you start or back up.
Yeah.
When I choose my starter, that guy is the starter. He's going to get beat. He's going to miss tackles. But guess what? I believe in him, and he's going to do better than most that we got on our team.
Right.
Yeah. So what I'm doing is when he comes off, I want to have conversation. What happened? Explain to me what's going on. Let's make sure we get it fixed. We can't give by miscommunication, a touchdown. Now, on the one that was technique, maybe his quad was already hurt and he thought he could fight through it. Maybe we don't know that.
That's true.
Mm-hmm. See, so because all I think about is I recall when he was running on a post when he hurt his leg last year. See, so, we just, it's easy when you're sitting in the chair of a fan or a reporter and just like point the finger. You start doing that in the locker room, man, you're going to have a long day as a coach and you won't be coaching very long.
Is that probably how, we don't see it very often, but how coaches lose locker rooms? Because this is a very tenuous situation anyway.
That's exactly what would happen. Because not only does it affect not only that individual, it's also sending a sign to everybody else. So that's why it's usually only like the quarterback. It's a sign that, hey, man, y'all better wake the heck up because the quarterback, we all know, is the most important position. So it doesn't happen very often.
Yeah.
I don't, I'm not benching somebody because you got beat for a touchdown.
Because that's the only thing I can think of to keep someone accountable, unless you're talking about running sprints or something really weird.
In the pros, that is the only account now.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So, okay, so if Deion Sanders got beat for 2 touchdowns in a game, you benching him?
Right.
See, just think about that.
Yeah.
Now, this is not the same situation. He's not Deion Sanders, but
right. But he's the Deion Sanders of this team.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Calvin Ridley's not.
I was about to go. Yeah. How many drops he didn't have, and have we benched him?
Calvin Ridley's not the Randy Moss of the NFL, but he's the Randy Moss of this team.
See, but it's a fair shot now. If you keep doing this over a period of time,
right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But after a game, and even if you cost a game, how about this? How bad do you think they felt at that moment? I've been there. I didn't got beat for a touchdown. And, dude, I am pissed. And so don't need to ask me what happened. I know what happened. I got beat. The dude jumped over my head, caught a one-hand pass, and guess what? As much as I can say I can live with that, it wasn't something that I didn't do. It's just I wasn't as athletic on that play as that guy was. Yeah. And I can live with that. But I dare him to throw that freaking ball over there again. I'll see what's going to happen next time. I'm going to hit him in his gut. Something, I'm going to do something. Because if I'm in a situation where, I'm looking at him and like, oh, my gosh, he is way up there. I can't compete. You got to find a way. So I can't believe we're starting to ask are we benching? They asked about Cody Barton. I'm like, dang, where did this happen? Is he playing bad? I don't know.
Plays bad one game.
He's not bad. He's not been on a lot of plays.
Yeah.
So I haven't seen him on a lot of plays, but I can't say that he's playing bad.
And listen, the only reason I bring it up is because, let's put in James Williams to see if he can tackle and follow Drake May's athleticism, because Cody Barton didn't have a lot of athleticism, but then you got Cedric Gray, James Williams out there and trying to do that. I don't know if they're ready for that. So you got to have Cody Barton out there. And right now, again, he's not Ray Lewis. He ain't Keith Bullock, but he's the Keith Bullock of this team right now. And I think until it's really, I don't think anything that we saw really yesterday out of any of these players outside of maybe Jalen Armour-Davis, who I think has been kind of consistently a little bad, and maybe a lot of bad, that is warrant of a benching of any of the bigger names on your team. You get what I'm saying? Well,
he wasn't an initial starter and wasn't even on this roster, so it's much more understandable.
If it's a different situation.
Watch this. They're not going to do that unless he is horrific. Guess why? Just make a guess.
Daryl Baker Jr., I guess. They don't believe in him, or no?
No, that's not the reason why. Because they got to justify that trade they did.
See,
that's why.
True.
That's why.
Good point.
They got to
Good
justify
point.
that trade they did.
About it that way.
That's what I was going to say is the other side.
Think about it that way.
Like, the other side to what Blaine's saying is, like, you throw out guys like Snead and Ridley. How much money are they making? Yeah. They are never getting benched for anything. Like the Davis thing, Cam too. That's the number one pick. Guys like that are never getting benched.
Well, Cam Ward's already a bust. I don't know if you know that.
Spears should be the starter. Spears is not going to be the starter. They paid Pollard $8 million. They paid, Spears, $500,000 or whatever the number is. Like, that's not going to happen.
But also, like, I guess my other thing is that you can't rely on Spears to be healthy a full season. I had Jackson all day yesterday while we were watching this game. I had to tell him to shut up at some point. Was that he kept saying they should trade Tony Pollard, give all his touches to Tyjae Spears. Tyjae Spears has proved he can't stay healthy, and I love Tyjae Spears.
And I do too, and he's the most explosive player on the team, but he can't start. We were talking about this on a pregame show.
Yeah.
And I said, look, as much as I love Spears, you can't depend on him because his body is going to break down. He has no ACL. Just think about that. At running back and small.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I would.
It feels like right now it's just a matter of time for his next injury. And I hate that we're in that situation. But that's how it feels. Like every time he gets tackled, just a tad bit awkwardly, I'm like, that could be it.
Okay, so watch this. Everybody I see on Twitter talking about we should bench Cam Ward's a bust. Oh, we're going to go to Braden Allen?
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to do so much better there.
You guys will love.
Oh, man. That's like me and Ross playing quarterback right there, man. That is new.
It's all about the investments, and like Blaine said, just how it permeates throughout the locker room. Like, you can't be benching guys. You've made this investment, and you got to stick it out for, while they're on the team.
But let me also say this. If they play, and we're going up because if they
all bets are off. Yeah. End of the season, like last 4 weeks.
Yeah, like last game or something where you're way out of rhythm.
Last 4 weeks, you're one and whatever.
I'm filing for hazard pay if I have to watch Brandon Allen next week. I'm filing for hazard pay. I don't know how to do it, but I'm going to do it. All right, coming up next, we're going to continue talking about this because this Cam Ward's a bust talk. This J.C. Latham sucks talk just ain't flying with me. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone.
Yikes. Parents, when your teen athlete gets injured, every practice miss matters. So don't let an injury sideline your season or your dreams. Introducing Edge Athletic Recovery Program, a 2-month, twice daily sublingual peptide protocol designed to help your athlete heal faster, recover stronger, and get back on the field safely. Our science-backed peptides BPC 157 and TB 500 support muscle, tendon, and ligament repair with no needles, no downtime, and no hassle. Safe for teens, non-GMO, gluten-free, and easy to take at home. Optional add-ons include M-Scope, functional sessions, and regenerative orthopedic treatments to accelerate recovery even more. So don't wait. Give your athlete the best shot and full return to the sport. And call Edge Peptide Therapy at 615-724-1878, or you can visit online at edgepeptide.com to schedule an office consultation today. Edge Peptide Therapy knows every game, every practice, and every dream matters.
Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Door. 615-737-1045 is number. Cam Ward's a bust, apparently, according to Titans Talkback last night. A lot of people saying that in the chat.
Yeah, that's what Jackson
said. A lot of people on Twitter saying it. A lot of people on other shows alluding to it like, woo, it's something out there. It's wild. And let's go to the phone, says both these phone callers want to talk about Cam.
No. Before you do, I want to ask you a question on Cam Ward. Just imagine in a real world, Levis's first year starting versus as the guy, and Cam Ward that started this year in their first 6 games.
I would say
who was worse?
Oh, I would say. Well, listen. Here's how.
I know he was in his second year, but he only started so many games before that.
Are we talking about rookie Cam Ward? Because rookie Will Levis is what I meant.
But see.
Are we talking about?
Everybody wants to make it apples to apples. My apples to apples is he was a second-round pick and he didn't start to his second year. So to me, that's fair for the number 1 pick in his first year to Levis's second year.
Gotcha.
Because the expectations were totally different. So he sat on the bench. So remember, before the season started, I said I would like Levis to start.
Right.
And then you parlay it to Mr. Cam Ward. I'm only asking this because if this was Will Levis, that he would be gone. He would be done. They'd eat him alive right here in this chat and all over the place.
They are eating Cam Ward alive. Let me tell you something. It is not pretty last night.
Hey,
I don't know about it is today, but it was not pretty last night.
Why'd you open your eyes? You're supposed to be imagining.
Well, I was imagining.
Okay.
And I imagined it. I had confusion of what I was actually trying to imagine. Because I was thinking, I do think the Will Levis's rookie year, his first few games, he did look better, and he had time to sit and everything. In his rookie year, and he came off the bench, looked very good, I thought. And I will be honest, I don't think the first 5 weeks has been especially great. Or 6 weeks. Yeah, first 6 weeks has been especially great for Cam Ward. And I would say that Will Levis's first few games under Vrabel with, that time period looked better. I would concede that.
So he had better coaching.
I would probably agree with that, which I cannot believe I'm saying that about Tim Kelly and Jason Hodeline and all those guys that were there at that time. But I would agree with that. But I also think that Cam Ward got better coaching this week, and I think Cam Ward, I'm not trying to erase the importance of the fumble, because the fumble is a huge issue. It's a problem. And it's if you take into the points that were scored, obviously by the defense, and the points that maybe you could have gotten, you're talking about a potentially a 10-point swing, right? That can't happen.
Yep.
Neither, and so I'm not trying to take anything away from that Cam Ward. But outside of that play, because when the bad was bad, it was bad. I think that play, the Ellick Manor third down play in the first quarter, where he threw way behind Ellick, that was a bad one, and I think the Chig interception one is on Cam Ward. Those are 3 terribly bad plays. But I do think Cam Ward played his best game overall. When you look at what you saw on film yesterday, I feel like it was his best game. I feel like in terms of seeing improvement in getting rid of the ball faster, in terms of not drifting as much, he still drifted some, but not drifting as much and creating your own pressure. And in terms of seeing the field better and looking more comfortable, I think he hit all those check marks. I do, but hey, listen, you got to hold on to the ball, dude. And I know he knows that. I know he knows that, but you got to do it.
No.
I thought it was his best game since week 1. And the reason I put week 1 over the Cardinals game is because I thought he was pretty bad the first 3 quarters. That was his best quarter of the season.
Yeah.
But I thought he was pretty good in week 1, just a lot of drops.
Against the Broncos.
So he's just like, it's some of the same type of Levis stuff, but I think it goes back to the Levis talk from last year of like, if you take away the one play, it's not as bad as you think it is. I think he's being put in some tough spots, not getting some breaks. He's obviously has his own bad like Levis did last year, but I think I agree with Zach. I thought it was his best game yesterday.
And it's a low bar to achieve that.
Yeah.
I will say that. Like, I'm not trying to say that's not a low bar, but if this game would have happened in week 1, I think people would be like, okay, that's pretty good. I think the culmination of weeks 1 through 6, games 1 through 6, and then heading into this game with also Mike Vrabel over there makes this game, I think the optics of everything look a whole lot worse right now. And there's no Brian Callahan to blame. And so, he's going to get a lot of it.
I would say, for me personally, I just thought they called plays differently and better for him.
Mm-hmm.
And so in my mind, he's been status quo. Because I think he's been the same guy the whole time.
I see what you're saying.
They just called better plays for him. They ran the booths. They did. They still didn't do enough, RPO type stuff. But
Yeah.
I mean, they tried to.
I don't even know if they did an RPO.
Right, that's what I'm saying. But you could tell they tried to get him outside the pocket. They was doing things. So I think it made him comfortable, to get the easy completions and that nature, and that got him into a rhythm. And then I think they called the right calls at the right times, especially early in the game, that first half. It looked a little different only because of that to me. So I thought he's capable of that all the time. It's just then he came back. Then in my eyes, once you saw them, they're not playing complimentary football, 12-play drive, Patriots score, then you come back and fumble.
It was
game over.
Mm-hmm.
See, so ultimately, you could say he only had 3 bad plays.
But they were big plays.
They cost the team because they're not good enough to overcome them.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're a young player like that, you can't do that.
Right.
So, and he knows that. They know that. But guess what? 2 weeks in a row, what did I say about typically is the quarterback? I think he's a little too casual with the freaking ball.
Mm-hmm.
And I would be a little perturbed, and who would have heard a little chewing out in the meeting come today.
Yeah.
That just wasn't going to go around. Now, 2 games in a row. Hey, we got to protect the ball, blah, 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 the first time. Last week, 2 weeks ago, whatever. But this time, no, because we had a shot again. So that was costly.
Yeah, huge.
So yeah. And so I need to address that.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I probably would have put film in front of the entire team of all good plays and then bad plays in the team meeting and addressed them. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So everybody can see who is messing up, when and where and why we lost. There is no confusion on either side of the ball.
Yeah.
Because they're humans, and eventually, if you don't stay ahead of it as a coach, they'll start pointing fingers.
Right.
As time goes on, they'll start, hey man, we getting 3s and out. Yeah, man, we tired. We can't stop these dudes.
Yeah, they definitely couldn't, and you're not helping them, right? Like at that point, that this defense is having problems stopping this, slowing them down.
This is the worst defensive effort all season.
Granted that opening drive in the third quarter by the New England Patriots that went for 7 minutes and 29 seconds was the last time they scored a touchdown in the game or any kind of points in that game. You still aren't helping your team get back in it because your defense then started to. Now, maybe Vrabel, because we've seen him do it, kind of lets the foot off the gas on offense, but maybe you could have got back in this game if you hadn't have fumbled. And that is squarely on Cam Ward. There is nobody else to blame other than Cam Ward for fumbling that ball.
Mm-hmm. And one last thing. Yeah. The Vrabelese of this game, and we all know them because he was here for that period of time.
Mm-hmm.
He always found a way right before half and coming out of the half, scoring points.
Middle eight?
He always, yes. And he did it again.
That's when we've been losing our game.
We went in the tank. We went conservative and got scared in our chicken.
I tell you, middle eight, 4 minutes in the last 4 minutes of the first half and the first 4 minutes of the second half are big momentum swings.
He always got points some kind of way.
Yep. All right, let's go to Chuck. Chuck, you're on with Blaine and Zach.
Hey, guys. Hey, just a reminder for a lot of these fans, a guy that was pretty good, his career in the Hall of Fame, Peyton Manning, had 28 interceptions.
Yeah, his rookie
year.
Mm-hmm.
And Brett Favre was so good his first 2 years that Atlanta shipped him off to Green Bay, and they were really glad to get rid of him.
Yeah,
so let's not jump the bus just yet on the bus talk about Cam. I mean, yes, he's made some critical mistakes. But the kid's got such a heart, and he's really got a lot of talent, and you see it on several plays.
No doubt.
So let's pump the brakes just a little bit, and let this season play out, and see where we're at, and maybe we get a coach that can bring the best out in him, and it may be one we got right now, but we're going to see. He's got a little more time now to do with him, and let's see what happens. But let's pump the brakes on the he's a bust yet, because there's been several really good quarterbacks that had problems their rookie years.
Yeah.
I think that's a good point.
Yeah, we didn't say that. That was
yeah.
just social media.
Right.
That's definitely not what we were expressing there. But
I think he's on our side on
that.
that.
No doubt. But it's real soon. But we're going to Brandon Allen. I mean, come on.
Yeah, come on. You're not going to force Brandon Allen on me, that's for sure. Let's go to Will, who wants to talk about Cam Ward. Will, you're on with Blaine and Zach.
Afternoon, gentlemen.
Hello.
Blaine?
Yes, sir.
Blaine, you set this call up pretty good with your words there, starting the segment. And Chuck, the last caller, kind of set the tone as well. It's a little perplexing to me here locally, the abuse that Will Levis got versus the treatment that Cam Ward's getting in the media, for example. The numbers basically the same. Cam Ward's in his first 7 starts are a little bit worse than Levis, but it just seemed like Levis was handicapped with a preconceived notion for whatever reason. We can all speculate on. There's probably many. And Cam Ward's I'm hearing a lot of ifs and maybes and whats about Cam Ward. Just heard Zach use the word if about 7 or 8 times there, talking about his performance. Bottom line, they're essentially playing the same kind of football, and it's a little confusing to me how everybody was ready to throw the torches at Will Levis. Chuck, the caller, brought up a perfect point. Quarterbacks that have started slow. I mean, you can go through the list. The kid in Charlotte, you got Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold. I mean, it just goes on and on. Everybody's not perfect. I think in this format that you all exist in, the in the moment, for the moment, hyperbole, if you will, just kind of paint yourselves in a corner as time passes. That's the way I see it. I'll hang up and listen to you guys continue to chat.
Thanks, Will.
Mm-hmm. No doubt.
There you go. All right, let's go to Mike, who wants to talk about the fourth quarter yesterday. Mike, you're on with Blaine and Zach.
Hello, Blaine and Zach. How y'all doing?
Doing good. How are you?
Great.
Excellent. Hey, just wanted to get your take. PSL owner since 2013. I was finally able to afford the PSL tickets, and I actually remember being on the Cumberland River just looking at Al Del Greco when he kicked off that football on the Cumberland River whenever we first started. But something happened in the fourth quarter yesterday. I want to get your thoughts. Just looking at the entire product on the field, from just everything, I remember a time, and it was a pretty good length of time, the stadium was silent, almost like a practice. And I was just wondering if you guys, I was sitting in section 107 and row Z, and I'm telling you, I just looked around, I was like, oh my goodness. Even the Patriot fans weren't saying anything. It was a pretty silent moment. So just checking to see if you guys saw what I saw, and I don't know, it was pretty disappointing just to see the product on the field, from just looking at the team, the coaches, to the ownership, just everything. The vibe in the stadium, something happened in the fourth quarter I've never seen before. Just want to get your thoughts.
Well, I think it's just boring football was being played for the most part. I mean, like I said, the opening touchdown of the third quarter, or the opening drive of the third quarter, is the last time either of these teams scored points. It went punt, 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 end of game, and then for the Patriots and their last 4 drives, and then it was fumble, punt, downs, interception. I mean, it's just bad football, or not bad, boring football.
Yeah, I don't know what he's referencing there, but I get what you're saying, and maybe that's why. But being there, hearing them chant Vrabel.
That came a lot on the TV.
New England people
or
were
on the
there,
TV.
and I think some of them were Titans fans chanting, because it got loud where it was the stadium.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa. And because it was a lot of, New England Patriots fans there.
A lot in the media, too, because they all went to Vrabel's post-game presser.
Well, they missed him.
They missed him.
So.
I got to talk about that when we come back. We'll also go to Dirty Bird as well. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 105 The Zone. Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors, 615-737-1045. That was all Ross. I did not request that song. I just wanted it to be noted that it was not me. All right, let's go to the phones. Let's go to Dirty Bird. Dirty Bird, you're on with Blaine and Zach.
You in Atlanta?
Yeah, no, I ain't in Atlanta, but I am a Dirty Bird fan, but I love my Titans too. They're my home team, and I got something for you. I'm just curious of something. You know, with everything that's happening right now, have we thought about going into free agency and picking some people up? Because I have a list right here, and I've been looking at some stuff. So Tajay Spears had 5 rushing attempts for 22 yards.
Ooh.
You know that Ezekiel Elliott, Nick Chubb, and J.K. Dobbins are just sitting at home right now? One of those guys could help y'all. You got Amari Cooper sitting at home for wide receiver.
I think he retired.
A quarterback that's sitting. Amari did?
Yeah, I think so.
Mm-hmm. With the Raiders, right?
Oh, okay. Well, there's a couple other ones that are sitting out there, and I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you don't want to go back on Cam, but if you had the chance to redraft, would you have gotten Sanders now instead of Cam? I would say yes. But that's just me.
And listen, I think we
I've
were
watched him in preseason.
Gotcha. We were a pretty pro Shitter Sanders show, I feel like. We were at least, open to the idea that he could be good. There was stuff here that he does. But I think I'd still be riding with Cam right now. I don't think I would go back and change history to do anything like that.
My preference was to trade the pick.
Yeah, right.
That was my preference. But if I was going to stick and stay, I would have with Cam Ward.
Yeah.
That was my opinion. I wanted to trade, though. I wanted to trade because there's too many holes, and this is exactly what happens. Then your quarterback is just sitting there, he's not going to have a lot of success because he doesn't have the weapons that he needs, and he doesn't have the offensive line, and just exactly what's happening.
I was going to say, I believe J.K. Dobbins also is running a lot for the Broncos right now.
Well, and also Nick Chubb's with the Texans, right? He didn't get cut.
Yeah, I don't think so.
And he got to update his Rolodex there. Dirty Bird got an old
Zeke's
Rolodex.
Out there.
Zeke is out there. Did he retire? I feel like he retired too. I don't know.
Probably a soft retire.
All right.
If they trade Tony Pollard, then maybe they'll sign him.
Okay. Am I the only one that really finds it kind of weird that the media, the Tennessee Titans media, went and to Mike Vrabel's press conference?
No.
Okay, let me ask it. I'm not saying is it unexpected that these people did that, but don't you find it weird? They don't do that for anybody else, and I understand that there is a history there, but come on, that seems a little weird to me.
What's going to draw more clicks, Vrabel or McCoy?
I guess, but I guess so. We're just saying, so just no dignity. I guess I should just expect no shame, because I also find it weird.
Well, I would think that they all have his number too.
Oh, so. I know they do. I'm sure. But I can also say this: Buck started out his show today, and he said that he basically started out his show talking about how Titans fans have a weird obsession with Mike Vrabel. And that he has this weird cult following among this Tennessee Titans fan base. Dude, you are the grand poobah of the cult. You are the cult leader.
Why are you hiding, Ross? He's encouraging it. What do you mean?
Yeah, you went to the press conference. You have a weird obsession with Mike Vrabel.
Oh, man.
Well, I'm in the camp of, don't get me wrong, I love Vrabes, and, I was upset when they fired him, but, it's been a while now. It's we can't go back. We're not going back. You just got to move on.
Well, nobody spent more time talking about Mike Vrabel than Buck. Besides, I don't even think Mike Vrabel's wife talks about Mike Vrabel as much as Buck
at least
does.
This past week.
Especially. So, this idea that this is a Titans fan thing and a weird Titans fan thing, I do find it weird. But I also have to say, you are a part of that. You are leading the parade for anything Mike Vrabel in the media, on the radio. That is his cup of tea. That's his wheelhouse.
Oh man. Well, that's the only time I think most media people would got a chance to talk to him, right?
Oh no, they did. They
called it during the week, didn't they?
They did a week Zoom meeting specifically for. So they got two special treatments this week.
In person though, Zach.
I know they got to get his musk, his scent. They miss it.
What? Just Copenhagen and whatnot.
Bush-like.
He was a real likable coach.
Yeah. They want that Milwaukee's best and Copenhagen, like you said.
They might have got on the Patriots team plane.
Yeah, I don't know. I just found it. I'm sure he dips. Oh, I mean, it just looks like a dipper.
I know a lot of
sure he does.
I think he uses all forms of nicotine.
There you go.
Oh,
there you go. Allegedly by Ross.
No,
but I don't know. I just find it very hilarious about that, and I find it very weird just to go to the press conference afterwards. And first off, it also screws up our timeline over here, so I'm a little bit more selfish on it. In that
that's what this has to do.
And that affected our show on Titans Talkback that you guys didn't go into your head coach's press conference on time.
Yeah. Wow. Dang. Well, he's an interim.
All right. We're going to do something. We're going to go to Terrell in Springfield. Or Spring Hill. Terrell, you're on with Blaine and Zach.
Hey, we got to keep it, no cuss words or nothing right there.
No way, but ain't no cussing.
Okay.
All right, look here. Blaine, could you answer me why in the world did Ladarius keep on peeking inside? There was two touchdown plays. He was caught peeking inside. I don't know why he had no burners. I don't know why in the world. And it seemed like I was just kept on going after him. And then that 3rd and 1, J.C. Latham wound up letting 97 just plow right in there. I don't understand it. Is his hip still hurting? Or he needs something?
Yeah.
I remember what is going on with that. And the fans chanting Vrabel. Y'all were ready to fire this man all day long. Quit chanting. And they ain't number Buck Rising's dang golfing buddy. And he's still trying to get a dang invitation to the Christmas party. That's what Buck Rising's trying to do. But I don't understand. But I feel like I said, I agree with you. There is something better, and there's some techniques to turn around, some things that we need to work on. Yeah. I got a feeling that we're not going to be like the Jets. We can battle. We're not battling Jets for the number 1 spot. We're going to get the top 5, but we're going to be number 1 spot. I think we got 3 more wins in us.
All right. That is a great call. Yeah, L'Jarius Sneed picking in the backfield a couple of plays.
He was pickaboo. Then he kind of shuffled out. He was kind of squatting. It's just, it was technique. And it looked like he was trying to guess like he thought he knew the play.
Yeah.
On the deep post one.
Yeah. J.C. Latham, listen, Milton Williams has made a lot of people look stupid, but also J.C. Latham got to play better on that particular play. I feel like he played better than last week and better overall. And then remember, it's his second full game of the season. Didn't finish the first game, second full game of the season after being off. I'm not pressing any panic button on J.C. Latham right now.
You got to give him a little grace. He's playing with an injury that he's trying to fight through, and hopefully he'll figure out a way how to play and be more effective. But if he is hurting the team, it's up to the coaches to take him out, because I don't think he'll take himself out.
No, not at all. Yeah. All right, that will do it for us. 3HL's up next. This has been Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons right here on 104.5 The Zone. In the meantime,
and in between time,
peace.
Ding dong.
Selling your home can be stressful, but it doesn't have to be. Get a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. There are no showings, no open houses, no stress. Work with the #1 real estate team in the U.S. and close with confidence. Go to markspain.com today.